Well, masochists, welcome to Calderis Refinery. Today we're going to watch Seraf, also known as Feg, and his tech marine attempt to take on Period and their Inquisitor. This is a long one, and I suspect it's going to be exceedingly painful to witness. So get that cup of tea brewed, sit down and brace your entire body for what we're about to see. Starting off a little bit strange here from Period, choosing to node their PowerPoint before getting a second Guardsman squad. A little bit unusual, to put it mildly, to be honest. That's very unusual. Seraf going to be matching them, not quite so unusual when you're playing as the Space Marines, I must admit. Doesn't want this pressure from the early Sentinel to be causing too much economic problems. Definitely doesn't want the Sentinel decapping his natural power. So yeah, he's noting that natural, noting the contested on the far side, which the scouts rushed, which is good as well. They're going to be able to finish the cap on the wreck here and can then rotate into cover and put a little bit of pressure on the Sentinel. They obviously don't want to be taking on the Sentinel solo though, so they will need support from the other guys. But the Tech Marine and the Tacs are here. For some reason the Tac is deciding to rotate down the bottom, and a little bit of a micro error there from Seraf. Walks his Tacs right into the melee charge range of the Inquisitor, and now the Inquisitor is able to put a lot of pressure onto them with her plasma pistol and her beat stick. The Sentinel's taking a lot of pressure itself. Tech Marine is a real threat. Kraken rounds loaded in on the Tacs there, but looks like the Sentinel is going to be too speedy. Huh. And then the Inquisitor retreats. Interesting. I'd have probably just thrown off the Hammer of the Witches first, before retreating, but sure, whatever. And the Sentinel has no repair support because Period is rocking one Guardsman. That Guardsman squad is rotating near to the power farm of Seraf, so I assume it has flamethrowers. Indeed it does, and it's going to be burning down the generators of Seraf. Seraf has gone for a fast Devastator squad. Period has gone for a couple of generators down here, and not really a whole lot else. What's he going for? Going for Kadishan Devils, presumably? Should be able to come out relatively soon. Yeah, here come the cats. Now the Sentinel can go for the decap, and whilst it's decapping it can get repaired by the Guardsman. No war gear yet for the Inquisitor nor the Tech Marine. The Inquisitor's kind of just chilling, doesn't really want to engage here without any support. Probably going to wait for the Kadishans, but I don't know how effective it's going to be because there are Devastators behind here with the Vengeance rounds available. Now we do see the Rosarius coming out as well for a bit more tankiness than the Inquisitor. I guess you could hold reliable, then run in with your Rosarius, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure about this. Scouts have got their Sarge running around doing a bit of decapping. Can't be too bad. Don't think they want to fight the Sentinel here. They will if they've got the green cover, but otherwise not so much. And it looks like the cats are rotating this side. Wow. So Period has just completely abandoned his gen farm. A little bit of a mistake here by Seraf, I believe, not to actually decap it, because look, now it's just instantly getting renoded. So that's a bit of a fail. I think the Tacs could have dedicated themselves to just going for that decap there. You see Period has got the decap here on Seraf, so that's going to give him a pretty sizable power advantage. Both players own the contested power nodes, and they have literally got a power node on those points as well. Tacs should probably be meleeing these Guardsmen right now. Yeah, Flamers are pretty spooky. Oh, Mastercrafted Bolter, okay. Is this guy going to die to a Hammer of the Witches? He will now die to a Hammer of the Witches, so he needs to be careful, but it doesn't matter. Devastator should be able to suppress here. Obviously, the suppression model gets stunned there by the Inquisitor. But things are okay, looking pretty good so far for Seraf. Look at the amount of wreck that both players are floating. Probably wants to get another Tactical Marine squad out at this point when you got this much wreck and this little power. You might just want to spam a load of gens though. You could also go for quadruple gens if you're Seraf. You know, the triple gens on the natural, once that power node's fully built, drop another gen on the far side, rotate the Devastators over to the far side where you drop the 4th gen to protect them from the Flamer Guardsmen. That would be a play. I think that actually would be pretty legit. I mean, looking at Period's economy right now, you could get a fast Razorback out and crush the Sentinel with it. If you kill the Sentinel, then fast Razorback's going to be very difficult to deal with. It's important you kill the Sentinel though, because when that gets the missile launcher in tier 2, it might be problematic. So now we're seeing the Holy Brazier here on the Inquisitor. She's got that very annoying plasma pistol as well, actually doing some pretty good damage against the Tactical Space Marines. But here you go. Suppressed by the devs, countered by the spotters. Retreated just in time. Actually yeeted a Tactical Marines forward. Probably going to get killed here. Yeah. Oh, it always feels so satisfying when you kill a bloody Tactical Space Marine, that's for sure. Pretty poor attempt at a grenade there. It was obvious those Cadetians were going to retreat. If they didn't, they would have been wiped by a clean grenade. So I think that was a fairly easy opportunity to get a retreat grenade instead. But he had very weird positioning. What's going on the other side? Whilst the Inquisitor just gets kited down here. Just a little bit of capping here. Node taken out by the Flamer Guardsman. Sentinel over here. But of course, we're very mirrored right now because Period had a node over here and that was taken out by the Heavy Bolter Devastators. I mean, the Inquisitor's doing a job here. Just functioning like a tanky melee hero, delaying for a bit. Of course, she's fighting Space Marines, so no models lost here. Got the triple gens up for both sides right now. A little bit more of a balanced economy here for Period. A lot of wreck for Seraf, but he didn't go for that 4th squad, you see. He didn't get that attack squad. Might just want to be saving up for tier 2 to go for it. Maybe a drop pod into a Stern Guard in tier 2 or something. I'm not sure. The requisition will be useful for Plasma Devastators as well, which are good in general against IG, but particularly on this map, I think P-Devs can be very, very effective. They can cover a lot of ground, they can cover this central VP, prevent the enemy from capping it. It's very powerful. Is that mines? Okay, we got the Artificer armor, the Tech Marine, and some mines. But of course the Sentinel detects mines, and so do Cadetian Devils. So we'll have to see about these mines. I don't really know what the point of them is. There's only one Guardsman. Goes for the combo again. That's pretty nice. Killed 4 Cadetian Devils right there. Oh, nothing in retreat path though. Devastator's getting themselves into a pretty decent position, but they're going to get yeeted by the mortar shell. They are going to be able to reset up, but they're a little bit far back right now. They're not going to be able to prevent the Flamer Guardsman from finishing this bash. Yeah, they're just going to move forward to the Guardsman, get out of the arc of fire and finish off the bash. And the Inquisitor's still lurking, which presents problems, because if you try to reposition your Devastators, there's a good chance the Inquisitor can move in and tie them up in melee, but we'll see. Is this flame attacks on the... It is. Flame attacks, though, the whole time are on the gen farm of Period. So once again, both players are very much even. Both players are going to be losing their entire gen farm, and both players are having their gen farms decapped as well. Both players are also going to tier 2 at the same time. Wow, this is a thing of beauty. They really are very mirrored right now. VPs for both players pretty close as well. So the only real thing is that Period has more units, but Seraf has a load of wreck, so presumably he's going to be able to make up for that lack of units pretty soon. You know, get whatever he wants in tier 2 anyway, replace all his gens, and then get a P-Dev on top of it, or another attack squad from the drop pod. We'll see. He must have a plan for saving up all this requisition. Maybe he doesn't want that second attack squad. But I think the fact that there's only one Guardsman squad would mean that extra attacks would be very useful. Attacks are generally very, very cost effective against the Cadetian Devils. They're very good against Sentinels, and you don't counter attacks with spotters either, so... I don't know. Only one Guardsman means only 3 potential plasma guns instead of 6 that you typically see. That, to me, means attacks will be a lot more effective than usual. So far, Seraf is going to be going for a Librarian. Could definitely follow that up with some P-Devs. There is a cheap power option available to the Imperial Guard as well, and that is the Stormtroopers here, called in via the Global of the Inquisitor to get them out for even less requisition and absolutely zero power. Here comes the Assault Kit for them. Gonna give them more DPS, more range, and a frag grenade. So a little bit of skirmishing around here. Looks like the Stormtroopers flanked around using their infiltration and the Devastators killed the model and forced them off. I'm just going to say, Seraf floating a tremendous amount of requisition here, really should be replacing his gen farm, but he just did, dropped all 3 gens. Period, not quite got his farm back up yet. Stormtrooper's going to be ambushing the Tech Marine here, attempting to cap. Tech Marine could actually force melee. Stormtroopers are not very good in melee. Okay, Tech Marine going to die if he doesn't retreat very soon. He's going to die because Seraf is too busy focusing down here on his attacks and his Libby. Approaching the gen farm under bail of time. There's a lot of forces defending here though. Sentinel, and a squad of Guardsmen, and a squad of Spotters. Tactical Marines unfortunately not full HP. If they had their full HP and a Sergeant, they could probably take on this force. But it isn't going to happen. So that's pretty unfortunate for Seraf. He loses the Tech Marine relatively unnecessarily, and the Libby and the Tactical Marines are forced off as well. Nice bait into the mine though from the scouts here. It's going to help them get rid of the Inquisitor relatively easily. Okay, the Libby actually didn't retreat, it was just the tax. Libby's trying to cap the mid, but... okay, Gate of Infinity to get the Tech Marine back into the action, fair enough. So obviously repurchased him. What's the next choice going to be? You going to get some P-Devs or not? You have some more tax? Or not? I mean... Oh, wait, what? Where the fuck did the Stormtroopers die? Oh god. Where did the Stormtroopers die? Oh, they died right here. They must have got naded by the scouts. Wow. Holy shit. Wow, how do I really do miss a lot, don't I? Good god. So they're getting replaced by period. Damn. I wonder if it was a mine. Kind of been a mine, surely. Must have been a grenade from the scouts. So they're going to get replaced. I was just thinking, so you're going to be fighting double Stormtroopers? Well, this is a great instance to go for Stern Guard with their heavy infantry, their high amount of HP, their extra damage against light infantry. They can definitely outtrace Stormtroopers very effectively. Veil of Time Devastator is good against the traditional IG player with the Cadishans, the Guardsmen. Not really that good against the Stormtroopers because they're just hard to pin down with the infiltration, and then you've got grenades to disrupt them and all the rest of it. Now, if this is a mortar shell, that's going to be deadly. Yep, you got to get those devs out of there. Pushing them forward into the firing lines of all the IG forces. Not going to go well for the devs. Attempting to plant a little mine on retreat path there, which would have actually wiped the spotters, but yeah, that's got a long build time. I like the fort, it's a good effort, but I'm not going to do it this time, unfortunately. VP's still super even. A lot of resources in the bank for Seraf. I wonder what he wants. Maybe he's going to save up for an assault kind of dreadnought at this point. I lost the tactical space marine there to the Meltagun of the Cadishans very unnecessarily. What's going on, mate? We've got this librarian. This librarian fully upgraded? What the hell? I don't know about fully upgrading the librarian yet. I think some more units would serve Seraf very well. We can upgrade him later. But okay. Bit of a curious Hell Fury strike there. Just forces off a scout squad for 150 red, really? That doesn't really seem very worth it, but okay. I mean, it did the job, I guess. It got rid of them. I don't know why that was so urgent that that warranted a Hell Fury strike. And we do see a third Stormtrooper squad coming out. Obviously, only 2 remaining on the field right now. This one doesn't have an upgrade yet. In fact, not as the other one. Perhaps Period is expecting a vehicle coming out, and Seraf is not going to do it. He's a Tech Marine, but he says, I don't need no vehicles. I'm going to go straight to tier 3. I mean, it is one of these maps called There's Refinery where you can really elongate the game because it's very difficult, even when you're dominating your opponent, it's very difficult to manage to take the natural VP. It's just such a massive distance from your base, and it's not really that far from their base. It's very hard to hold it. It's quite difficult to decap it even, though units like scouts can be quite effective at that. Seraf goes tier 3. I wonder what the hell the plan is. We're not seeing any assault kit yet, so I think Period knows something funny's going on. I think he's expecting maybe a dreadnought. He can get his melter guns and melter bomb on the dreadnought. Some good AoE damage from the flamer there. Fortunately, again, the tank's running around with 2 models and not full HP. Again, if they were 3 models full HP with a sergeant, they probably could have beat those stormtroopers. But those stormtroopers shouldn't have been blobbing up like that, standing on top of one another, so the flamer hits all 10 of them. That was a bit silly. The Tech Marine just skirmishing over here. The Inquisitor, for some reason, is in range stance. Oh, once again, we've got a Gate of Infinity on the Tech Marine here, pulling it to the side. Further time on the Devastators. Stormtroopers just sneaking around, going for the gen farm now. So it looks like Veil of Time Devastator is going to intercept them. Maybe they need to stop and shoot, but they do. And there's no energy left for the Stormtroopers to throw grenades because they've already been running around in infiltration. It's a lot of bleed actually. Stormtroopers are very expensive to reinforce. But it looks like the Cadishans are forcing back the Tech Marine. No retreat, just a little soft retreat from the Tech Marine. What the hell is Seraf's plan? He must be going for a Land Raider Redeemer. He must be. I mean, I don't know if you really want to be using Melter Gun Stormtroopers against a Land Raider Redeemer, I'll say that much. Those heavy flamers on a Land Raider Redeemer are going to absolutely shred Stormtroopers. However, Period's going tier 3 as well, so he could get a Lehman Russ probably quite soon after a Land Raider comes out. When is the Land Raider? Seraf is lacking power, as usual. A lot of requisition, not enough power for that Land Raider. I mean, you could snare the Land Raider Redeemer with your melter bombs, then you could blast it with like a Manticore or something. But I suspect Period is just going to deal with it by chipping away at it with a Lehman Russ. With a Vanquisher Cannon, that would probably be the best bet. So you don't have to get close. You don't want to get too close because of the multi-melter on the Land Raider Redeemer. That could hurt you, but that's, I believe that's only range 38, like a small arm, so... If you've got a range 55 Vanquisher Cannon, you should be in a good spot. Veil of Time again on the Devastators, but wow, that's a lot of range DPS coming out of the Sentinel and double Stormtroopers. And honestly, the Devastators are kind of lucky to get out of there alive. About 20 HP, a little bit less. Librarian gets out of there on 100 HP, but look at this, Sneaky Tech Marine comes through and kills the bloody Sentinel. Wow. Sneaky boy. That's nice, because the Sentinel actually, unironically, would be quite nice to chip away at a Land Raider Redeemer. 100 damage constantly with the crack missiles from its missile launcher upgrade. And again, Sentinel outranges the Land Raider Redeemer. So it'd be pretty good for the poke. So it's a nice pickup there from Seraf. He is indeed going for the Land Raider Redeemer. Here it comes. Generator's getting bashed again by these guardsmen. That's such a pain in the arse, man. He's got so much requisition and no bloody power. He really needs to defend these, but he's got no units nearby. He's going to be attempting a bit of a counter bash. No, not really. He's just rotating, trying to do what he can to stay on the map. But yeah, double Stormtroopers are problematic, and a Hammer of the Witches into the barrage from both the Stormtroopers there is going to kill the Tech Marine. Well, there you go. That's something to spend your excess requisition on, Seraf. Replace your gens and rebuy your Tech Marine, then he's not going to have an excess. I don't know. I don't know how well this Land Raider Redeemer is going to do. Certainly nothing on the field at the moment can do anything against it. And like I said, it would be a big mistake if Period is reliant on double Melter Stormtroopers to deal with it. I actually think he should not bother with that at all. Just ignore the Land Raider until you can get a Vanquisher Lehman Russ. Maybe you can get one Melter. I don't think you want to go 2 because the Melter Bombs are nice to immobilize the Land Raider Redeemer, but the actual Melter Guns are going to be pretty useless. As I say, the heavy flames on the Land Raider Redeemer will melt the poor Stormtroopers very, very, very fast. And they're shorter range, so you don't really want to be using them against all the other threats as well. I was going to say we got a retreat grenade here, but it just went for the lazy approach there. Seraf went for the shotgun blast and the stormtroopers. Probably unnecessary. I feel like they were going to retreat. They don't want to be fighting shotgun scouts point blank. Cadishans can. But they're scared of the Tech Marine, I suppose. Here comes the Lehman Russ. I'm noticing a very healthy red bar here for Seraph. Honestly, if you get to the Lehman Russ in tandem with some ranged Terminators, you should be in a very good spot. We're getting a very questionable health fury, but these scouts are standing in it and eating triple flamers and eating shotgun shells to the face. Not great for them. They're just going to retreat back to the LLR. Yes, they are. And they're going to reinforce their lost models off of it. Right, what's the solution then? I mean, like I said, for now you've just got to dodge this thing. Don't even go near it. Don't go near the big scary metal box. Ooh, nice grenade and retreat there. Killed about 5 more guardsmen. Ah, it's XP. It's not a lot of wreck bleed, 5 guardsmen, but it's certainly XP. And no upgrades yet for the stormtroopers. Vanquisher en route. You've got the option of the Inferno pistol as well and the Inquisitor. Nice filler time here. Easily able to rotate and deal with that Inquisitor. Here comes the tank. So scouts need to retreat. Okay. Come on, scouts. Yeah, they're going to retreat out of there. Looks like the Veil of Time devs managed to force off all of these units, which is quite beautiful. I'm going to be putting some pressure on the gen farm, I suppose. Now, the Land Raider Redeemer has support here from a Tactical Space Marine squad with a missile launcher. That's interesting. And Land Raider Redeemer is just pushing up so it can use that multi-melter on the top to do a little bit of tickle damage against the Lehman Russ. But ultimately, its main attacks want to be going onto the infantry here. But nice rear armor hit there from the missile launcher, doing some good damage. A rear armor hit from the multi-melter as well. But this is very dangerous for the Lehman. Sorry, not the Lehman. The Land Raider is pushing right into the base. A little bit of a frag assault there, going to do a lot of damage onto the Kadashan Devils, and here comes the nuke. I did say there was a lot of red available. That's going to wipe out the Kadashan Devils. Scared to retreat because of the nuke, and same with the artillery spotters. They are presumably going to die. No! This guy manages to sneak around the edge of it. Brilliant. He's not going to die. And Seraph was too busy focusing on his Land Raider Redeemer, so he lost his Librarian. Oh, fuck me. That's not good. That's a big loss. He was fully upgraded, and that would have had fantastic synergy with any subsequent Terminators. Lehman Russ getting way too close, though, charging forward like this. Seraph needs to get something onto the VP. He has got some amazing VP pressure with the Land Raider Redeemer. This is one of the things with the Land Raider Redeemer in 1v1. It's actually very good. I mean, look, it's an amazing super unit in general. These things change the meta in 3v3. Period. But even in 1v1, the amount of pressure they allow you to put on VPs is kind of insane. But he really needs to get someone decapping this VP here. 366 VPs to Seraph to the only 143 and ticking down VPs to Period right now. Period does have the Inferno pistol. His stormtroopers are going around the sides, but not going for the VPs, which I find a little bit curious. If I was Period right now, I'd be freaking out a little bit. Lehman Russ may outrange this Land Raider Redeemer, but the Land Raider Redeemer is a big tanky boy, and you're fighting a Tech Marine, so you can keep healing it with the blessings of the Omnissiah. He's got scouts there repairing it. And of course these Tactical Space Marines keep healing and reinforcing off of it as well, so they're really hard to get rid of. So, I know that I've got a tool that's good against the Land Raider Redeemer, but it's going to take a very long time to get rid of it, and so I need time. And so I don't want to be draining VPs. But here we go, we've got one of the Stormtroopers now is realising this and going after the natural. I'm not sure why the other one isn't going for the contested. Period really wants to requisition, it appears. It looks like he actually got a judgment off there with the Inferno pistol from the Inquisitor, and then in tandem with a shot from the Vanquisher Lehman, he actually managed to take out the Tactical Space Marines, which is pretty huge, because now that's the primary AV threat gone. Might be able to kill the Devastators if they don't reinforce quick enough. Oh, they'd reinforced. There's no one giving line of sight for the Lehman, I believe, right now, which is why it has to drive so close. Literally driving into multi-melter range. Needs another unit up front to give it line of sight. No, the Librarian didn't die. What am I talking about? Oh, I don't know. Is it... He got a new librarian? Did he really? Why did he get a new librarian? I don't know. Very weird, but that actually, that, my friends, was a good Hell Fury strike there. Devastators were very low. And he just needed that spike damage quick enough before they could reinforce another model, and that leads to the wipe. And now the Land Raider Redeemer is finding itself without support versus a tank that outranges it, so it is going to back off. The backline VPs were caught by Period, so that stopped the VP bleed for a little bit, but the Tech Marine is working on it, retaking his own natural. Good amount of HP on the Tech Marine here, and the thing is with the Artificer Armor, it's not even about the mines. Really, it's about the fact that it gives you 200 extra HP and 2.5 HP regen. Makes the Tech Marine a lot tankier, but apparently tankiness doesn't matter when you're fighting double Assault Kit Stormtroopers. So they did... Oh, fuck me! Oh, God! Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said don't even bother with the Melter Guns, because Heavy Flamers plus Frag Assault on the Land Raider Redeemer equals very quickly killed Stormtroopers. Holy shit, they melted very fast. That was brutal. But they got the Tech Marine at least, so one Assault Kit Stormtrooper remaining. Both sides bleeding a lot of units here. not wreck, they're bleeding units. Keep buying units and losing them. But here we go, a 2-to-1 cap again in favour of Period now that he owns the central contested VP. And Seraf is not able to push against it because he doesn't have any proper AV. Probably wants to be considering getting a Lascannon Devastator squad. He could go for Terminators and give them the Cyclone Missile Rack, but that alone isn't going to be able to kill a Leman Russ. And really, if Period is microing it correctly and staying at long range, utilising the range superiority that that Vanquisher cannon has, then the Cyclone Missile launchers aren't going to do very well anyway, because they become more inaccurate the longer distance that you fire them from, because they get more scatter, but also they travel through the air very slowly, so they're very easy to dodge with fast moving units such as a tank if they're firing from a very long range. So I think he needs Lascannon Devs, but Lascannon Devs are tricky when you're fighting a lot of long range threats that can bleed them, like the Vanquisher, like the Assault Kit Stormtroopers, and like an Inferno Pistol Inquisitor that can judge them. Now another Leman Russ is coming out. Seraf does have the option of going for perhaps a Lascannon tank, Lascannon Predator. Could do okay. He needs infantry AV, really. So here, is this Terminators? I mean, if this is a Vendread, that would be very odd. It's a Vendread. Why? So it's just another thing that can't pressure the Leman Russes and is outranged dramatically by them. I mean, you can tank a lot of shots with these chonky vehicles and your Blessings of the Omnissiah repairs, but it just feels like this strategy would be good if your opponent was on 20 VPs or something. You just want to push them in the base and buy time to win on VPs, but there's still 111 VPs for Period, so that's a lot of time. And now he's got a second Leman Russ coming out, also upgrading to the Vanquisher. Why not? Basically counters all the threats right now. You see, we've got Orbs of the Omnissiah and the Tech Marine, but even under Veil of Time, you see he's just not fast enough to keep up with a tank. So how is he going to get close enough to then have the wind-up, throw off the Orbs, and stun a tank? Well, maybe like this, because Period doesn't micro. Leman Russ gets hit by the Orbs of the Omnissiah, it is stunned, and the Vendread therefore gets into melee, but the Vendread is very low in HP, it is now killed. Well, it's now lost all of its HP, so it enters Stoicism, which allows it to rampage around for a little bit, doing a bit more damage before it eventually inevitably dies, which it does right there. And Land Raider Redeemer is pushing up way too deep. We've got 3 sources of AV against it, and only the Land Raider's multi-melter to try and deal with these Leman Russes. And the multi-melter's a nice tool, but on its own it doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's fighting an Inferno Pistol Inquisitor with a Rosarius and 2 Leman Russes, and it's going to go down. Oh, why would you push the Leman Russ? Sorry, why would you push the Land Raider up like that against those Leman Russ? It doesn't make any sense. You can't disengage because the Leman Russ outspeed you. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's have a retreat grenade. No, that's asking far too much. I don't get it. I don't get why you'd get a Vendread. He actually manages to hit another Orbs of the Omnissiah. Now trying to kill the Lehman with a melter gun. Well, he's not able to. Not enough HP on his Tech Marine, unfortunately. Repairs coming in from the Guardsman here. IG vehicles have a little bonus to them where they heal 20 HP per second from the first unit that repairs them, not 10 HP like normal vehicles. Now we're getting a bunker, maybe a repair bunker. Speed up the repairs since there's only one Guardsman. It's funny to me that Period went for one Guardsman the whole time, and here you go, more Stormtroopers too. Again, called in via the global bar to get them for cheaper. And Assault Kit is en route. No power replacements, so probably not going to be seeing any more vehicles for a while. The upgrade here to the bunker does cost a fair bit of power as well. Yeah, it is a repair bunker. Check it out. So that's going to help a little bit. Ooh, I just realized the repair bunker seems to be affected by that trait on the vehicles as well, so that repairs all nearby vehicles at 20 HP per second, not 10 if it's the first repair. That's pretty fucking cool. So here we go, we got Terminators now with a Cyclone missile launcher. This definitely should have been the choice before. Maybe if he can hit... Yeah, he's going to get the Orbs of the Omnissiah. Now they're stunned and can't move, so you can actually hit the Cyclone missile launcher. But I don't know if it's going to do enough damage. He's relatively close range here. Let's see what it can do. Ooh, really close. Holy shit. If he actually teleported point blank and then used it, that would have definitely killed the Lehman Russ. Now he's teleporting forward here, attempting to get some Power Fist hits on retreat, but the tanks are too big. They have pathing priority. It's just not really doable. And they shouldn't be able to catch the Lehman Russ. The Lehman Russ right now getting that repair support from the bunker. Can Terminators go inside garrisons? I don't think they can they? So they're a little bit screwed. They've used their teleport right now. They should have another Cyclone missile launcher. Yeah, okay. Okay, but it completely misses. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now they're dead! Because they can't retreat, and they've already used their teleport on a very risky attack. And they're just going to get hunted down by the far faster Lehman Russ. And the melter damage here from the Inferno Pistol, which does even more damage against super heavy infantry like the Terminators. There goes a Judgment. Ooh, fucking hell. That's the Gate of Infinity. They survive with 24 HP. One more shot from the Lehman would have killed them. That was timely, but costly, because that was, yeah, still 2 Terminators down. That's a shame. The fact that Period allowed the Orbs of the Omnissiah Tech Marine to get in and stun both of his Lehman Russes was very, very poor. But yeah, if Seraf teleported right next to them with his Terminators before he used that barrage, that could have actually one-shotted. I didn't know that Cyclone missile launchers had it in them to one-shot Lehman Russ. Evidently they do. Like I say though, they should never hit. They only had the opportunity to do that because the Orbs of the Omnissiah landed. And you shouldn't be able to land an Orbs of the Omnissiah. The Lehman Russ outspeed the Tech Marine by a mile, and the Tech Marine takes like a whole 1 second to throw the goddamn orb, even when he's within range. Dropping a bunker this close. Interesting. Instantly killed by the Cyclone missile barrage. Guess that's another tactic they can use. Guardsmen now fully upgraded, probably just want to retreat out of there and execute later. But they're not getting threatened in melee. Yeah. Marine getting some value here with a melter gun. Maybe he wants to veil the time him. Not the Terminators, we'll see. Ooh, poor scouts. Trying to deal with the Inquisitor, but damn, the damage from 10 Assault Kit Stormtroopers is pretty rough for light infantry like scouts. And now a turret. Well, I have to say a turret's a very strange choice when there's double Lehman Russ and 10 Assault Kit Stormtroopers which can infiltrate to get around it. Another highly questionable Hell Fury strike. I don't think Seraf is going to be able to do this. I don't know how he can. That was an odd barrage. I like this with the scouts. They need to constantly be pressuring the natural. They shouldn't be fighting. There's no point. They can't beat anything on Period's roster 1v1 right now. Not even the Guardsman. The Guardsman could literally just force melee on them and the Commissar will win. Now fucking Kaskin are coming. Yeah, this is... I don't know. If Seraf wins this at this point, that is going to be mighty impressive, because it does not look very winnable right now. It really doesn't. You see the Inquisitor having the Rosarius is making her so tanky that Scouts can't even beat her. Even if they ambush her and hit her with a shotgun blast out of infiltration, they'll still lose. She's just too tanky at this point. Another turret, I don't understand this. What's he wanting? A missile turret or something? But it's just not gonna last. Don't get it. So this is the thing, look, long range cyclone missile barrage. It does a little bit of chip, but it's super easy to dodge. You know, you make it harder to dodge by comboing it with a las cannon. Snare the vehicle first. And then you can warrant teleporting in to get a close range barrage as well on a snared vehicle, because you've got a librarian to get of infinity back out. Here you go, boom! Hitting orbs with the Omnissiah again. Lazy micro there from the Lehman Russ, and with the missile launch turret, it actually takes out a Lehman. Terminators need to be really careful though, they're taking a lot of damage here. You've got Plasma Gun Kassakin and Plasma Gun Guardsman. Turns out Plasma Guns are pretty good against Space Marines. Nice little force barrier here. Well, not so nice actually, it just killed his Tech Marine. Fucking brilliant. I thought he was, you know, I was saying nice force barrier. He deters the decap of the contested for a little bit, but no, not really. Just killed his fucking Tech Marine. Oh man. Well, they force off the Inquisitor, but holy shit, these Terminators are on very low amounts of HP. Another shot there from the Lehman, taking out another model. A lot of damage coming from that barrage, to be fair, but what can you do? He's not reinforcing that final model. I don't think he has time. Nah, there's no way. He can't get out fast enough. Because even if he decapped the natural, it wouldn't matter. He doesn't have the contested. Wow, what a throw. Jesus Christ, I had to stretch after that one. That was crazy. I think, look, there was a lot of memeing going for the fast Land Raider Redeemer. You never, that's not going to be optimal against an IG in any situation. But I think, okay, fine, you wanted to meme. Let's just give him that. Let's allow Seraf that. He likes to meme. I don't think that was necessarily a player that meant you lose the game. I think probably the play that meant he lost the game was going for a Vendread and then pushing all the way into the enemy base with the Vendread and the Land Raider Redeemer and losing both of them. If at the point that he got the Vendread, he went for a Las Cannon Devastator, which had Librarian support, remember, and Terminators with the Cyclone Missile Launcher, he should have been great. Hit the Lehman Russ with a Las Cannon to snare it. Now you can actually put Veil of Time on your Tech Marine, run up an Orbs of the Omnissiah, and they can't dodge it because they're snared. And then you can kill it with well, you can kill it with the Las Cannon and Land Raider Redeemer, probably, when the enemy can't micro like this. But even if they're a really good enemy, then you can kill it with the Cyclone Missile Launcher. Then the Cyclone Missile Launcher Terminators can easily beat Stormtroopers, because Stormtroopers only do piercing DPS. They might do a lot of it, but it's only piercing, so it does nothing against super heavy infantry. I don't know, I think he had the tools available to him here, but that Vendread play was... I mean, it was just horrendous. What were you thinking? Why would you go for a Vendread against a Vanquish, a Lehman Russ? I just can't explain it, guys, but that's why this is going to be uploaded as a Sloppy Saturday, and I hope you enjoyed it somehow. I hope you did. I really hope you did. If you got better replays, join my Discord. Description will have the link, and send me those replays, please, because I need some good replies. Thank you. That's all from your boy Torpid this time. I am going to be signing out.